Nick Wood here with Movement Life, and we have Bobby Romano here, recent grad from Springfield. What did you study up there, Bob?
I studied biology and nutrition.
Excellent. So today we're going to talk about the other side of the coin from our traditional just lifting weights. We're going to talk about our nutrition. Nutrition is a huge part of being healthy, and that's what we're moving towards. Not just a great body, but being internally healthy as well. So let's talk there's so many different diets going around right now, but the big one seems to be the Paleolithic diet. From the Paleolithic era of 2.6 million years ago to about 10,000 years ago. So you want to tell us a little about that diet and what you think about it?
Well, the Paleo diet has some principles that are fundamentally sound through evidence uncovered from recent science.
Such as?
Well, in terms of their suggestion to increase fat intake as the primary source of fuel throughout the day. I mean, that's very sound advice for most people in America.
So let's classify this this high fat diet. We're not talking about, what kind of fats are we talking about?
We're talking about mostly unoxidized or slightly oxidized fats. We're not talking about fats from fried foods. We're talking about fats from naturally, like fats that would naturally occur in steak, or fats from plants, avocados, and other nuts. All these fats with different from saturated to polyunsaturated fats.
Okay, awesome. So there's one of the probably some of the big controversies in the paleo diet is the dairy, though. I know you're a big advocate of raw milk from 100% grass-fed cows. So tell us a little more about why they don't put milk in there. They say you should avoid milk, and why do you think that milk is good to have in your daily diet?
Well, when you're looking at milk coming from these CAFO raised dairy farms, you don't know, it's not clean, it's not safe,
okay,
to have it raw, so they pasteurize it. Now, what are you taking away from when you pasteurize milk? You're not only destroying a lot of the very sensitive vitamins and enzymes, but there's also tons of bacteria in milk that is great for us to have. We have about 5 to 6 pounds of bacteria making up our body, and 90% of our cells in our body actually are not our own.
Oh.
And so to have this, we have this diversity of life inside of us, and to not think about that when we're eating is gonna it's
gonna affect our diets in a negative way.
It's gonna affect our health. It affects our metabolism.
Okay, cool. So, all right, so raw milk, 100% grass-fed. That's what the outcome of this is. What else? What do you think about the whole don't eat grains and legumes things for the paleo diet? Because they were hunters and gatherers essentially. That they would, if they were to walk up to a field and saw grass, would they not try to eat it? They needed to eat when they could, correct?
Yeah, like I said, the principles are pretty sound for Americans, and that's because most of our food in American diet comes from processed foods, which are really grains and sugars. And now, if you can eliminate this huge majority of your diet, like of this processed food out of your diet, the easiest way to do that is to go to the extreme. No grains at all. And when you go to the extreme, then you don't have these gray areas. People know that, the goal is really to eat real food.
Okay. So do you think that they're doing the no grains things because there's so much horrible grains and how we produce it in America?
I mean, in terms of monoculturing grains through large corporate bodies and then distributing them for long shelf life and not considering taste or nutrient value, I mean, I don't see the health in that.
Okay. Well, it's almost going back to the raw milk. It separates naturally, and separation is natural in the wild.
Yeah, I mean.
Awesome. So we're gonna look at another snippet of a diet that I know Bobby's gonna get a little chuckle out of, the no carb diet. Okay.
Yeah.
So we have this no carb diet going around, and you want to tell us a little bit about that?
Well, first of all, carbohydrates come from plants. To say you're not on a no carb diet means you're not eating plants at all. I mean, you're not eating lettuce, carrots, broccoli. So no carb diet, what people mean is low starch or no starch diet. And no starch, again, very hard to do with when you eat plants. But,
okay.
I think what the misconception is it's actually a low starch or low sugar diet.
All right. No, because it's funny. There's a naturopath by the name of David Getoff, and what he says when someone says, "Oh, you're on a no carb diet," he looks at him and says, "Oh, so you don't eat vegetables?" And it's become almost a laughing. It's almost become like a common joke among the nutritional world. So you're saying the no carb diet is more of a low starch, low sugar.
It's probably what is low processed foods. In
Okay,
general, yeah.
excellent. So the next topic we're going to go to is it's a Dr. Price's studies in the 1920s and 30s. He did an ethnographic study of Switzerland and indigenous cultures in South America, and what he found was that no culture ever had a 100% plant-based diet. So what do you think about being veganism and vegetarian?
Well, there's a lot of pseudoscience surrounding these veganism and vegetarian in terms of whether we evolved this way or not. The evidence isn't there to support it. And like you said, Price's study, has never been a 100% plant-based diet in any of our ancestry. But in terms of being a vegetarian or vegan, if you're doing it for ethical reasons, there might be something there. But even then, life is life. You're killing plants.
Yeah, I mean, essentially you are. You're killing something that's living, that's thriving in the environment. So I completely agree with you on that. And it also goes back to David Getoff, as I said before. He doesn't treat anybody he will not treat you if you're a vegetarian or a vegan, because he doesn't believe, because of the Dr. Price's studies that have been done. And I think the evidence is clear through what he says, Dr. Price. It's great stuff. But I have a question though. Go ahead.
There's also a lot of, I'm just going to bring up the point about today, in such a privileged culture, it's very easy to get all your vitamins and minerals through supplements or foods that are shipped from South America. Because when you're vegan, you have to eat these plants, especially if you're in northern climates that aren't available year-round. And so, it's in terms of sustainability, if you're really trying to become more sustainable by not eating meats, there's almost contradiction there in those efforts.
Okay. What do you think about these people who have gone to a vegan and vegetarian diet, and all of a sudden they say they have more energy, their life has been turning around, they finally drop that weight and get it to a sustainable weight where they're not yo-yo dieting anymore?
I'm extremely pleased with those results, and I'm extremely pleased with anyone who wants to take their health in their own hands and go vegan, for example. Now, whether that's sustainable is a different story, and those health benefits from eating plants, of course, you're now switching from a very diseased diet, very toxic diet, into a beautiful living diet through these plants. Unfortunately, it's almost like an evolution. You go vegan and you discover that you now are no longer addicted to sugar, for example, if you're eating whole foods, and you take it a step further, and now you can incorporate healthy meats back into your diet. And when I mean healthy, I mean healthy raised and sustainably raised meats.
Yes, because we both went vegan for a little while, and then I went to a vegetarian. And when I went vegan, I had that same result. I felt literally high all the time. Like I was rushing all the time. But the problem was, in the matter of 2 weeks, I lost 10 pounds. So it wasn't sustainable.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, like I said, it's a step forward. And in terms of having all that energy, I mean, vegan diets are mostly carbohydrate, and this is, that's just it's sugar. It breaks down into sugar, the digestibles for carbs. And so, if you're running around with a high blood sugar all day, you're gonna feel like a lot of energy. Mm-hmm. But the problem is, vegans tend to need to eat constantly.
And then there's also health risks going with being vegan. I know iron deficiency is one of them, correct?
Yep. I mean, and if you talk to an avid vegan, they'll tell you that they'll get plenty of iron from other sources, beets. I mean, but the science is science. You need to consume 4 times as much iron through plant sources as you do animal sources, because it's just not as bioavailable.
Well, so it becomes, so now you're taking more supplements that are manufactured and processed, so it's almost like a double-edged sword. Are you doing something better? But like I always like to say, as long as you're making a better decision than you did yesterday, it's a step forward.
It's a step forward, and you should celebrate your success in education and moving towards health.
That's excellent. All right, that was our nutrition tutorial with Bobby Romano. Thanks for coming. Do you have anything final words to say about everything?
Well, thanks for having me, and everything we spoke about today, our claims, don't take our word for it. Keep looking, keep searching. We watch more of our videos, learn more, and you can't do enough of that. And everything you believe in, make sure you just investigate it, whether you're paleo or vegan. And other than that, just keep living and be happy.
Thanks, man. Awesome for you to come. Thank you for watching our video. You can follow me on Nick Wood on YouTube, Nick Wood on Facebook, Nwood90 on Instagram. You're always moving, so might as well move well. Nick Wood, Movement Way.